So this is our Thursday call. We're gonna do some sales training today, guys. And got Sid. He's on the phone. I've got the slides. I'm not sure he knows what the slides are, but I'm not sure if he can see them or not. But so here we go. Go ahead, Sid.
We got some of the sales dogs with us today.
We got a bunch of
folks. How many people have salespeople with them? Has anybody hired a salesperson yet? Give me a response. Make it proactive. Get me excited so I can really go off on some stuff here. How many people have a salesperson or want to hire a salesperson? Maybe I'll include some of my training on that.
Anybody want to eventually, Mark Casey? Gary likes the topic. Gary's got a former finance person he's trying to bring on board, but he's not.
Very nice.
This training will cinch the deal. He said this training will cinch the deal.
First off, talking about salespeople, real quick. You know, I know a lot of people do 100%, commission only. That's okay. You can do it, but you don't always necessarily, you got somebody who might kind of steal your ideas if your solution is not hard to go around you or whatnot, right? And you can do that with this. This you could definitely hire a 100% commission-based salesperson. It's not as easy, cut and dry, and obviously we would never allow anybody to go around any of our resellers or site partners. But when you're working with a salesperson and you're wondering what kind of percentages to pay them, I'm going to tell you what kind of industry is. If you're paying them a salary, and that would be north of $3,000 a month, 10% and less is okay. In fact, I mean, some people have jobs where they get a 1% or 2% override, okay? If you're going out and you're providing them leads, but they're going and closing your business for you, the net number is 20%, right? A lot of people use the number 30 or 33% and then have a pack where it nets out to around 20% anyway. And if they're going out finding cold business, bringing it to you as found type business, commissions should run between 30 and 50%. Now, that's also to maintain that client. Do not get caught in this trick bag. You pay somebody 50% like I do with Chris Snellgrove, and then I end up maintaining the client and I'm paying, you got to pay the IRS, then you got to pay, 50% to your salesperson. I mean, you're basically getting double tax. That's the best way to get the worst business partner in the business, because they're going to be doing nothing. You're going to be doing all the calls, all the maintenance, and you're paying them half your money. You'll resent them, and it won't work out. It'll destroy your relationship. And that sucks, because sometimes you might have a good sales guy, and they're not easy to come by. Always make sure you under-promise, over-deliver with a sales guy. You'll black them slap out if they feel like they're getting whipped. Attitude's everything in sales. There's a reason why they make $30 shampoo. So you feel good when you wake up that morning and go sell something. Know what I mean? Everybody get those percentages? Any questions on them?
So let me clarify that on the 30% to 50% on found business. What I heard you say, is paying the one-time cost if they're not going to do all the follow-ups. So it's basically a bird dog fee of 30 to 50%, and then you keep all the found money after that. But if they're going to maintain them as a sales rep should do, then that gets back down into the found business would be 30 to 50%, and then the next month would you get them back down to that 20 to 30% range? Is that what we're talking? Or do they keep the 50% the whole time?
Yeah, you try to keep it at 20 on recurring. Yeah.
Right. There
and
we go.
You can do less than that, depending on how easy it is, and how much it is.
Right. That's what I figured.
Here's the biggest mistake you can make in sales, and I've experienced this many times. If you're busting down 5, 6, 800,000 a year, right? And you go hook somebody up on sales to make 20,000 a month, you feel like you're kind of giving them a deal. But what you don't realize is that person that you just gave the $20,000 a month opportunity has a $30 an hour mindset. You see what I mean? They got a $1,000 a week mindset. 50 grand is clipping it for them. So once they get to the 30 grand or 50 grand a year, They don't feel like they have to make any more money. They feel like, man, I'm already good. Believe it or not, I left the warehouse, W.W. Granger, made $175 a week, and I went in the car business, and they offered me a $300 a week draw. Now, thank God I was hungry enough that I wasn't settled at $300. However, I can remember when they offered me the $300 a week draw, I thought, shit, if I don't sell nothing, I've already made a raise. You understand? So, you know, you got to make sure that you keep them hungry. Always make it a performance-based sales plan. You'll stay ahead. One thing that one mistake that I've had business associates make in the past is where they go put people on fat salaries, and then when the business slows down, you get picked apart like a plucked chicken. You can't do that. You'll resent them. It'll end the relationship, and that sucks because they could be a good salesman. What you want to make sure that you're going to do is do something that you both can live with. Leave some room so you can give bonuses. No matter how much they beat you up, no matter how bad they have money problems, any good salesperson is going to be an absolute degenerate when it comes to saving money. Just typical, way it is. I knew at 17 years old I had to make more money than I could spend or I was going to have a problem. All right? Any questions on that, Paul?
Nope. I think they all get it. They're not clamoring in the question box. The one thing that I will say that we've said in the past is just make sure you're not training your future competition. And you kind of hinted at that. But
yep. Now, I'll give you another piece of advice on sales, and I've given this before, so if you've heard it, then you'll know what I'm talking about. But this is the most valuable hiring advice ever with a salesperson. And a lady, she was a Marine Lieutenant Colonel who taught me this, and she really, really saved me a ton of headaches. I was a publisher for a magazine here in Atlanta, and I had 15 reps that were all 11s, anywhere between 10 and 15, depends on when. I mean, when I say 11s, they were beautiful women, right? And hiring for that position was the hardest thing I ever done because, somebody would walk in, I'd go, wow, she's really got it, right? And I wanted to hire from the beginning because I thought she would work out great. Now, the problem is I would hire those people and I would end up going through, dramatic, absolute headache with dealing with the drama and just crazy crap. And she's laughing at me, the Marine Colonel did. And I said, what is it? She's like, you're hiring with your eyes and not your brain. And I'm like, yeah, well, maybe I kind of did. And she's like, let me tell you a secret. Anytime hiring a salesperson, every single one of them, cut and dry, black and white, immediately, no matter how bad you want to hire them, you look to a stack of resumes and you let them know, I have a whole stack of resumes here that are better qualified than you. And then you just stop and look at them. If they don't start selling themselves on why they need to be with you or to start selling or why they can start closing you on why they're the person for the job and you misunderstood their resume, don't hire them. You just saved yourself a world of headache. If they do naturally start closing you on why they want to be with you, why they want to work with you, why they think you're the perfect choice, then that's a perfect salesperson. That test alone will save you mounds of grief and issues. In fact, might even terrify you if you tried it with your wife. It'll tell you exactly where her head's at too, right? So that's an indication of what kind of person you're going to hire and what kind of person you're going to deal with. So you'll know if they have that competitive spirit in their blood. See, a lot of people think that sales is actually taught or learned or inherited, and it's not. What makes somebody great in sales is somebody who's competitive, who hates to lose, who can't stand to lose, to the point where some salespeople get a bad reputation because they hate to lose so much they're willing to compromise their morals and integrity in order to get what they think is a sale. I myself have never once had to lie to sell a deal. I don't want to have an asterisk next to my record on the wall, right? There's no reason to. You can always leverage and build value, which we'll talk about later on in a minute, in any given product. All right? The last thing is anytime you want greatness, it comes with training. Whenever you go to train, that's repetition. You cannot tell yourself enough. If it's not the first thing that's popping in your head every morning, you need to study it more. Now, there's three things that I tell myself before I walk through the door anytime I'm about to sell anybody. Anytime I'm out cold calling. Hell, I tell myself this every time I wake up in the morning before I even wipe the sleep out of my eyes. Does everybody know what those three things are? Hopefully we got a proactive group today.
Yeah, hopefully they can read. Because I actually had already flipped to that slide.
Oh, you already went through it?
Yeah, sorry about that. I didn't realize you were going to go there. But these are the three. That's for sure.
Has anybody put it in the question box?
Gary, Kylan.
Good job. Proud
Hey,
of you.
Kylan.
So, Kylan, today when you shake somebody's hand, what's going to go through your mind? You're thinking what? Anytime two people meet, a sale is made. Right? Another thing that everybody forgets, and they don't know why the person kind of looks at them like a deer in headlights, where you do a great pitch, but you went into the pitch too soon. You didn't make them take ownership and then build what? You build the value over the price equals sale. That's true in every aspect in life. The value of your vehicle is better than what you're paying for it, or you get rid of it. The value of a friend is more than what you're paying in grief and emotions and dramatic whatever, or you get rid of your friend, right? You cut that fat out of your life. Value over price equals sale every time in every deal. The last one, and this is the one where I have not heard any quote-unquote guru or internet marketer today yet understand this. And this proves lack of experience. If you win the argument, you lose the deal. It does no good to win arguments. You don't get checks with winning the arguments. You don't get to score home runs or score touchdowns because you won the argument. Yeah, you might have a little win in your head, but that's where it's going to stay. It ain't going to go to the bank. Win the argument, lose the deal. Do not ever forget those three pieces of advice. I promise you'll become a great salesman if you hold those close to heart every day. Walking in with car drops. Kylan, you got your headset on you? Who's got a headset?
Yes, headset is on. Kylan.
Awesome. Let's make him go live. Who better to pitch than an actual car guy?
Here we go. Kylan, can you hear us?
Yep, can you hear me?
Perfect. Sound like
Man,
Wolfman
wow.
Jack, baby.
That's what I'm talking
The
about. We
radio.
got a nice clear line over there to Houston. Hey, Kylan, how you doing today? Sid Michael, listen, I know you get hit up all the time. I don't want to waste your time today. I know those people try and, rob time from you. I'm not here to rob time. I'm only to take 3 minutes. However, when I'm done, you're going to realize that these 3 minutes were not wasted. I got something that's exclusive that I'm bringing to the car business right now that's never been done before that has worked very effectively. In fact, it got an underdog elected this very week. Are you interested in seeing the same technology that could put up to 50 appointments into your showroom the second you say go?
Yeah, that sounds pretty cool.
Well, thanks for giving me 3 minutes. Listen, I know you get pitched all the time. I'm not here to tell you I got the great wide wonder, but I am here to tell you that I've got something that is brand new to the market, and you're going to be one of the first ones on the front line. And like I said, I mean, even in political is one of the top places where they're using it. And you can see it obviously worked for Trump this week, didn't it?
It sure did.
There you go. If you don't mind, let me just ask you a few questions only so I can better serve you. How many cars a month are you selling there, Kylan?
We're selling about 80 cars a month.
Okay. And are you staffed to sell more, or is that where you're capped at?
No, we're staffed to sell more.
Great. Well, knowing that you're staffed to sell more, how many would you like to sell?
We'd like to sell more, about 120 to 150.
Okay. And you are staffed to handle that business?
Let's see. That'd be 18 cars as sales rep, so probably not quite staffed enough for 150, but we're staffed for 100.
Okay. Well, 140,000 gross, 120 is 80,000 more gross. Is that what you're asking me? Is that what you're telling me? You need about another 40 to 80 grand on the books?
Yeah, that would be perfect.
Okay. And you're the general manager here?
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. Just make sure. So that would be that would benefit you directly to the old Hip National Bank if I put another 80 grand on the books, wouldn't it, Kylan?
That would definitely help.
Cool. Well, let me tell you what I got. I've got something that I wish I could tell you had some super secret algorithm or some secret sauce or whatnot. And we are using something that's brand new to the market. However, in reality, what I've got comes in overalls because all it is we go to work for you. Have you ever done a buyback campaign before?
Yep, we have one running right now.
Hey, are you doing it with a mailer?
Yeah, we're using a direct mailer.
Okay. And has mail been effective for you, or is it being effective?
It's has a pretty good rate, like a 1% return on it.
Yeah. See, I've been in the direct mail business for over 10 years, and we also do direct mail. However, what I noticed, and I sat there and stopped and was sitting there trying to change the pieces and change the hooks and change the looks, and and try and make the direct mail piece work as the best I can, because obviously direct mail is effective. I used it when I was in the car business, and I've sold a ton of it. However, what I realized is it's the open rate that controls everything. And I tried to sit there and think, man, I could put more hooks in a tackle box. I could sit there and make this thing gold leaf plated, where if they melted it down, it was worth thousands of dollars. But in reality, what do you think happens to 99% of the direct mail that comes out of a mailbox? Kylan? We lose him?
No, I think somebody stepped in his office.
Okay.
I heard somebody come.
All right. What do you think happens to? Well, Paul, take over for him. Paul, what happens to 99% of the people that pick up that direct mail piece out of their mailbox? What do they do with it?
It goes in the trash can, man.
Unfortunately, it goes in the trash can. Now, hold on a second. Even if it's plated in gold, but yet it's in an envelope, they don't know it's got gold in it. It still goes in the trash can, right?
Yep, I only get about 1% of them back, so that I assume the other 99% are sitting in somebody's trash can.
Well, just like radio, if somebody's not tuned into the radio station, it's worthless. Just like TV, if somebody's not watching the TV station, it really doesn't matter. So we started thinking, what is it going to take to get more effective advertising and more return on the investment? And here's what we figured out. We figured out if we could master the open rate, that then we could actually start adjusting the other credentials and hooks and closes in order to master everything else. But without the open rate, we're dead duck in the water. Here's where we found out we could actually master the open rate. We put the message out on a device that's within 3 feet of 91% of Americans over the age of 18 all have within 3 feet of them at all times of the day, even when they're sleeping or going to the bathroom. And what is that? That's right, a cell phone.
There you go. That's right. That's mine.
Have you been doing much any advertising with mobile? Have you been focusing on mobile at all, Mr. Thornton?
Not a whole lot.
Now, Paul, tell me if this is true. I heard from high school.
This isn't about text messaging, is it? Because I read some
absolutely
article
not.
that got everybody in trouble somewhere. Okay.
No,
all right,
it's not. It's not. And trust me, I'd love to text message as much as anybody else because it's highly effective. However, I would never put you at risk like that or myself. Now, Paul, I heard from some people that you were known back in the day as Alabama Thunder. Is that true?
It's Tennessee Thunder, but yes, you're exactly right.
Tennessee Thunder. There you go.
That's right.
Now, 80 cars ain't bringing the Tennessee Thunder. 100 cars is Tennessee Thunder. Would you agree?
That's a fact.
All right. Well, I'm going to show you how we're going to bring Tennessee Thunder to your dealership right now. Here's what we do. We go to work for you. You know that the buyback message actually works. So we don't go out trying to do anything wild and crazy. We do use some RVM technology, which is brand new and huge and political. But if it comes down to it, I'll do just like you just did and send a hard mailer straight to their mailbox to make sure that they get the message. See, when you send out a 20,000 piece mailer, you might not get the 1% open rate. That's a way lower number. We want to hit that other 99%. So we use the RVMs, we use Facebook ads, we use direct mail, we use emails, and we use any method possible to make sure everybody gets the message once or twice. By doing so, think of the best campaign you've had yet with this mailer that you're doing. That's the buyback, and realize that's only 1% of its potency. We increase that potency to open the doors and turn on the flood around there.
Okay. I can see that.
Now, here's what we've experienced. The phone lights up. I noticed you have a BDC upstairs, and I'm sure they're great people. However, they're not trained to handle this exact situation, and we've seen a lot of dealerships melt down because it can produce upwards of 900 to 1,000, 1,200, 1,500 calls in the first 3 days alone.
I call bullshit. 900 phone calls.
Well,
What?
I can totally understand, and I called bullshit at first too. And that's why my first BDC fired me on the spot and said, we'll never do another campaign for you. In fact, I'm working on my fourth BDC as we speak. And the reason why is I had to find people that were trained and ready to answer the phones and handle it and book the appointments. Now, they're still completely transparent. They still put it into a CRM where you can see what's booked and scheduled and what's happening. I just asked that our BDC handle it because we can fluctuate the seats. I can go from 5 to 25 seats in a matter of minutes in order to make sure that there's equal amount of calls. Nothing is worse than having a call and not hearing it get answered for 3, 4, 5 minutes later. That's guaranteed death.
Right.
So in my experience, I found that it's best that we have this trained BDC handle your phone calls coming in. If you absolutely insist that your people handle it, I'm totally cool with that. I got scripts that I'll give you that I'll highly recommend for them to use. But I highly recommend that you actually use our BDC with this. Is that fair?
Well, if you say, I mean, I don't want my guys quitting on me. If you really think you can do what you said you just do, all that shit you just said you could do, we may have to use your BDC. I don't want my group to quit.
There you go. All right. Now, remember when I told you I wasn't going to waste 3 minutes of your time, and after you spent it, you would realize that you made the right choice with me today?
Mm-hmm. I sure do.
Well, that leads me to ask you this. The reason why you made the right choice with me today is you asked me and told me that you could use 40 to 80,000, 20 to 40 more cars a month, and I'm here to tell you I'm one of the few people in the country that's sitting across from me that can actually make that happen. Are you ready to make that happen, Paul?
Well, I'm committed on something on next month on another mailer right now. So I don't know if
How much are you spending?
We're doing 20,000 pieces we're spending about 20 grand.
Okay. How long have you been doing mail with this company?
That particular one about once a quarter for the past 2 or 3 years.
Okay, they've always done you a good job?
They always got their 1% like everybody else gets.
Yep, I totally agree. Now look, by all means, I'm not trying to get between you and anybody you have an established relationship with, and I'm sure they're a great company, and I've not heard of them, but I'm sure that they've done a pretty good job. You've had them do it for the last 3 or 4 years. I'm not looking to step on anybody's toes and stop what you already got that's working, but I am looking to get fit in to where you could use the extra push. Now, I know Christmas is a big time for everybody, and a good check would make a big difference. You got a little bit of room that you can fit me in the first 2 weeks of December to make sure you blast it off through Christmas?
Well, I don't have no 20 grand to be spending extra because I'm already, like I said, I committed that to them in December. It's already rolling. I don't know. How much you want?
Do you know how big of a database? You know how big your database is? How many past customers do you have in your database?
Oh, I think we're sitting around 12, 15,000 right now.
Okay.
We just took over this dealership a few years ago.
Okay. And what kind of budget could you actually were you looking to could you afford with that 20 grand? I mean, you got 10 grand you can slide, or you got 5 grand?
I don't know. There's probably 5 grand hiding somewhere I could go find if I had to.
All right. Well, let me show you what I can do for you. I can set you up on a weekly campaign, and on the weekly campaign, I like to do 1,250 drops. With the 1,250 drops, they'll go out weekly. So therefore, you'll get 4 weeks. If it's one of those 5-week months, you'll have a week to breathe. Okay. We're going to take the 12,000 names, and we'll spread it out over the next 90 days, which is the next 3 months. Any of the weeks that we have like a little bit of a gap in the names, we use make and model double opt-in list, and it fills in right nicely, and there's always a little bit of conquest. You could use a little conquest.
Oh yeah, we like conquest.
Okay, all right, well good. So here's what I want to do. I want to set you up on a campaign. It's $59.99 a month. It's a 3-month minimum guarantee. I'll make sure that each and every one of those people get touched by either a RVM, an email, a direct mailer, or even a phone call. Whatever it takes to get this message in front of them to let them know that you're looking to buy their car and that this is the best time ever. Take advantage of it now.
So you're wanting 18 grand over the next 3 months.
That's right. You thought it'd be more expensive, didn't you?
Well, yeah, we were talking about direct mail. I don't know. We'll have to think about those. That's about.
I'm giving you 3 months for $2 grand less than you got that you spent for just 1 month. And I'd like to be. I'm not afraid to be scrutinized. Look at me as a salesperson. If I don't sell, fire me. But I want you to take what I do over the next 3 months and compare it to what you do with 1 month of direct mail, and I'm guaranteeing you I'll do a better result every time. Not being arrogant, I've just done it enough to know.
Right. Mm-hmm. So if I don't like it after a month, you let me out? Is that what you just said?
If for any reason that you don't like it at any time, I would want you to contact me and let me know immediately. And I would reimburse you for any of the drops or the contacts that we have not already contacted. Now, if I already printed the mailer, obviously I got to charge for it, but, you know, I'm not here to make money that I didn't earn. I'm here to make a lifetime client, not a one-time client.
Right.
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 So like my mother.
Right. Well, I can see that. Okay, I can see that. We can do that.
Okay. All right. Good. All right. So hopefully they all go that way. But the point that you did a great job, Paul, because that's exactly how they would probably act.
Right. I've heard it before.
Right?
Yeah.
So, you know, here's the point. You know, y'all have heard me pitch 100 different times, and we tend to go down the same rabbit hole, exactly how the role play pitch goes every single time. That one took a little bit of a left-hand turn. I got to the point I didn't have to say anything about my 50-point bid guarantee. I didn't have to do any kind of promising. See what I mean? I didn't have to start building any more value. I built enough value to close the deal, and that's all it took.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You built the value on talking about the 1% response rates of direct mail, and it was enough to convince me that if you can do any better than that, and it's going to be about the same price, then I'm cool with it. Because that's what in their head they all know direct mail works, and if you can get a over the hump on direct mail, then that's kind of where they end up. They're like, oh, okay, well, I'll try it. I've tried a bunch of other crappy direct mail before. If you got a new wheel, and that's in my head, that's kind of where oops, sorry about that, guys. But that's in my head what I was thinking. I was like, oh, well, and I know I've just heard it before, so.
Well, that's where it's at. What were you apologizing for? I didn't hear you say anything wrong.
No, I clicked the slide, which you can't see. I clicked to the next slide.
I got you. There you go.
But does anybody have any questions about what we did and what we were talking about and how he was pitching it and what we, maybe we should go through one more where we asked for a guarantee. Kylan said he lost sound. That's why he fell off. Nobody came in the office. He just lost sound. Sometimes you got to log out and back in if that happens, guys, if you lose sound. And it happens with
Go ahead. So I want to talk a little bit about the pitch, and then somebody muster up the nerve to get on here and be a jerk. Be impossible to get along with. I want you to hate me. I want you to hate the way I look, hate the way I sound, hate what I say. I want you to just be dead set against doing business with me. Every single rebuttal you've ever heard in your life, I want you to give to me, and I'm going to show you how to do it. Okay?
Hey, I bet Chris Bass or Dale Farrell, I bet y'all got headsets. One of y'all can do that. Let me try to see who's on here. And go ahead and do what you're
doing. We won't do it right in a second.
No,
I want to do it right in a
exactly.
second. I want to talk a little bit about
Goodman could do it. Goodman, you got a headset?
Goodman would be a great asshole.
Right? It's not far off. I'm sorry. I'm joking with you, Goodman. I'm joking with you. But I bet he's traveling around in his dump truck.
Trying to dump us with a dump truck.
He said, no, a-holes, I'm driving. So, but Chris Bass does have a headset. But go ahead and do what you're going to do, and then we'll get one of these guys on.
Yep. Does everybody understand? Like, when I was talking with him, why did I sit there and ask him? Okay, you're looking for $40,000 to $80,000 gross, and you're the general manager, right? Wow, that's going to pay you right. Hit National Bank. That's a big benefit for you. Why? Why did I ask that?
Bueller. What was he building? He's the GM sales sees dollar signs. So person has some skin in the game. Confirm what he's asking for. So he owns it.
There you go. Owns it. Who was that?
That was Dale.
Dale, I'm proud of you, buddy. Yeah, that's exactly what I was asking. I want that person to own their debt. I want them to own what they're asking me for. I want them to own that it's their responsibility to increase that number and that they're sitting there with the right to make the decision right then, there, and there today. Okay? If you don't, then people have a natural pre-programmed tendency to weasel. Sir, can I help you? No, I'm just what? That's all pre-programmed responses. They're also pre-programmed to see what direction you're coming from to what? To block you and turn you down. They don't want to be under the spotlight when they're making a decision. They want to feel like they're making the decision on their own time at their own pace. Nobody likes to be boxed in. Unfortunately, as a closer, that's exactly what you're doing. You're shrinking the walls in the room, closing it down to the point where they have no more oxygen and they have to either jump or swim, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, the better you can do that without them feeling high pressured, by making it feel like it's their decision, the better of a closer you are. What's one way to reduce the pressure in a sale when you're pressuring them? Tell them, man, I don't believe in high pressure. I'm never going to be one that's going to sit there and grind you to do something. I understand that this is something you got to make an informative decision to make your decision. But what is it? What can I answer to make you feel comfortable enough to buy today? Now, what did I just do? I told them I didn't believe in high pressure, and then I pressured them. See the power of the mind? Power of what you hear, perception is reality, right? They perceive that you don't believe in high pressure. However, you ask them what would it take for them to answer that you could take off the table so they could actually purchase right now today. I'm not in a day business, I'm in a 2-day business. Right?
Right.
That's why they say it ain't show friends, it's show business. Right.
That's the first time I've heard those two.
So, make it effective. A lot of times whenever you're getting a no, you're just one little rebuttal or one overcome away from making the deal. I'm going to tell you right now, I 100% believe anytime two people meet, there's a sale made, there's a deal every single time when you sit down. The only reason why you walk away without that deal is if you didn't ask inquisitive enough questions that you could rebuttal and then make it into a deal. If you don't ask enough questions, you can't overcome them. And that allows that person to close themselves based on their little secret or whatever they have that you weren't able to overcome. When in doubt, ask a question and then shut up and let them answer.
I see a lot of young salespeople. They won't ask, they'll do pitches and they're fine on the pitch and do everything, but at the end of it, they just won't ask for the money. They won't ask for the business. They won't ask that last most important question.
Paul, somewhere somebody invented, and I don't know why this became about, but all of a sudden it became uncool to be salesy. It became uncool to ask for the business. You got to act like you could care less, right? That's this cool way to do business. Well, that's the way to allow somebody else to throttle your income and lose your ass. That's the truth. You know who the perfect salesman is? Anybody know who a perfect salesman is? A kid. What does a kid do all day long?
Gimme.
What does a kid do when you go to the grocery store? Oh, Mama, I want that. Can I have that? I want that. What are they doing repetitively? They're asking for the business. It's not until we get into their perfect little minds and taint them to think that's not okay, or we just teach them that it's not politically correct to always be asking for business. But the kid naturally comes out of the womb asking for business repetitively. And how many times do you think kids get their deal? How many times do you think a day kids close deals? You think mom gets a little sucker?
Every hour and a half.
We're trying to close 4 deals a year. They're closing 4 deals a day.
Oh, yep.
And not being religious, anybody know what one of the second best salespeople in the world is? Take it as you will.
You gave that one away.
Yeah, I gave it away, but it's a preacher. And but why? Let's look at why they're a great salesperson. One, they build unity and have common ground and common, goals or direction. But two, they create habit. My dad used to write the check to the church before we went to church, and it sat on the table, and they grabbed it on the way out as we all went to the car. When you create a purchasing habit, then you can create a great sales program. It's culture. Nobody wants to not be seen putting money in the plate. When I went and saw Joel Osteen, he had the sun start coming up and got real bright. And you asked him who was going to donate. It went from where you could hide in the dark to where everybody knew you weren't raising your hand.
Mm-hmm.
That's effective. But watch this. Don't get offended by no means. That's not what I'm trying to do. But watch these proven tactics and realize it's not genius. It's simple human behavior. Now, regardless of who you are or what you do, you want to do what relates to most people. Same with a 50-appointment guarantee. I put out 50 appointments not because I know I can easily do 50 appointments every time. I put it out there because I think that wows them and keeps their attention after I pitch at them. You got 8 seconds to get their attention, and I think 50 appointments does the job. Now, if you sell 5 deals and the 50 appointment guarantee closes another 5 deals, right? Or let's say it closes another 3 deals. That's 3 more deals you need to guide if you wouldn't use the 50 appointment guarantee. Now, once you get somebody to sign up on a 50 appointment guarantee, it's your job to make sure you execute what you promise. Now, if you sell 1,250 voice drops and you're not on track to hit your 50 appointments, Whose fault is that? Whose fault is it?
Lonnie's got it. It's our fault. It's their fault.
You have to watch and maintain your own campaign. There's no lighting the fuse and watching the fire turns all the way down, and then you follow through with your message. You heard me quote Grant Cardone 100 times. Your power gets cut off. You paid your bill on time. Whose fault is it? Yours for not having a generator. Same in business. You start taking responsibility for your actions and the results of others, you'll find yourself stepping ahead.
Now, go ahead. I thought you were, go ahead.
Go ahead. Yeah, I was going to say, now realize we're using variable lists. Sometimes we're using our own conquest list. Sometimes we're using database. We don't know what's happened to their database. Maybe they just did a buyback program. Maybe they didn't do a buyback program. Maybe they got their BDC calling this list every day. You don't know how beat up the list is. You're just getting a random amount of names. So careful on your 50 appointment guarantee. But know when you commit to a 50 appointment guarantee that you're willing to follow through to make sure and ensure that it gets 50 appointments. You can do this with this product every single time. I don't recommend doing it on your free deal. I recommend doing it on your paid deal. Doing it on a free deal is only going to give you frustration.
Right. And that's kind of what we were talking about here. That's why this 50 was up here. If you're selling it based on 50 guaranteed, if that is what you decided is going to be your hook, or 25 appointments guaranteed, then you got to sell the whole gumbo. I mean, you've got to do whatever it takes of this recipe to get your people in the door. It's not just drops and try to drop the same people again. That may not work. The direct mail needs to get in. You need to get the email list. You need to start running some social ads, whatever that takes. But Scott Goodman said it's Paul Thornton's fault.
That's right. Every time. All right. Does anybody have any questions, Paulie?
Drop the number to 20 or 30 appointments and over-deliver. That's what Mark Casey said.
Yep.
Lonnie asked if we're running Facebook ads to them, do we need to get them to make us a manager of their Facebook account? I think that's a yes from what I don't.
Yeah, that's required. Yep.
Yep. So you wanted Chris Bass? Are you ready to come on and be the ultimate a-hole to Sid and let him pitch you and work you and see where we can get with this? We got about 7 minutes here. He's ready. Now, Chris Bass is down in Paraguay, I believe, and he was a former Wall Street guy, so I bet he knows how to be a butthole to people if he needs to be. Chris, can you hear us?
Yeah, but I wasn't a trader, so I was more of a. I mean, I wasn't on the trading desk or on the sales desk or an investment banker. So I just did the portfolio management. So.
Oh, you were doing analysis. Okay, but you know how to be an asset.
Oh, I
right?
know the trading desk guys, man. Especially they would be 9 to 5, 9 to 4, 9:30 to 4. The crazy attitude, and then they'd be mellow as hell as soon as 4 o'clock hit. Completely different personality.
Right. So that's where we're going to be. We're going to flip on the before 4 o'clock switch with Chris to Sid.
Okay.
Sid's going to be pitching you. You're going to be the GM. So here we go. Sid.
Hey, Chris, thank you so much for meeting with me today, man. I know you get pitched all the time. I'm going to have to spend 3 minutes with you. The only difference between my 3 minutes and everybody else is at the end of this, you're going to say, man, I'm glad I gave this guy 3 minutes.
Yeah, I've heard that before. Dude, I've heard that before. Can you just send me some information first so I know what you got so it's worth my time?
Absolutely. I'll definitely get you out some information. But let me go ahead and tell you, because you're one of the first that we're going to actually run this in the automotive space. And when I say that, it's actually worked with political. In fact, you got an underdog elected this week.
So you're telling me you're responsible for Donald Trump winning? Come on, give me a break.
I'm telling you the technology that I have is absolutely responsible for helping get Donald Trump to win. Yes, it is. In fact, that's the #1 market that it's used in. And we're bringing it to automotive. Do you want to be one of the first ones to get a sample of it?
Sure, but be brief, be quick. I don't have much time to, I'm busy.
Hey, listen, like I said, at the end of 3 minutes, you'll be glad you spent it with me. So 3 minutes brief enough?
Okay, go for it.
Hey, listen, Chris, have you ever done a buyback program?
Sure.
How effective was it?
It's pretty effective. Tell me something I don't know.
Boy, were you planning on running another one anytime soon?
Maybe in 2 months or so.
Okay. Well, basically, I can tell you we run something super secret, but we use the buyback mainframe basically just to get the message across. Here's the difference, though. When you've done a buyback program, is that just a mail campaign that you've done?
Typically, we use our normal direct mail supplier. It's been 2 minutes, and this is pretty boring so far, so you better hurry it up.
No, I'm with you. Listen, you get in touch with 1% of those people that you send out that direct mailer to, and it does a successful campaign based on the 1% that receives it. How well do you think that campaign would run if you actually had a 96% receive it?
Oh, easily. It would be much better, but, I'd like to see a blue unicorn, too.
I'm with you. It seems almost impossible, doesn't it?
Yeah,
What if it wasn't?
I would be interested in that.
Okay.
But, again, I have to see it first. You convince me.
Okay, well, since you're interested, let me go ahead and explain it to you. If all your salespeople got on the phone, picked it up, called every single customer since 1951 when your father opened this dealership, do you think they could sell some cars?
I don't know. Some of my salespeople, I wonder that myself sometimes. Maybe some, yeah.
How about your managers? They're probably better closers, aren't they?
Yeah.
Okay. What if you personally called every single customer? Do you think you would actually get some in to buy cars?
Yeah, I don't have time for that. You know that. And, we've
course
gone
you don't
way
have
over
time
3
for it.
minutes here. Get to the
Of course
chase.
you don't have time for it.
Get to the chase, man.
Chris,
This is...
Chris, this is the good news. In a third of the 3 minutes that you gave me, what if you had time to do that in 60 seconds? Personally.
Yep, okay. What is this, some sort of voicemail thing? That's illegal now, We used to do that type of stuff with the robo-dialing, and you can't do that anymore.
You're absolutely right. But I have a way to make it legal. You're interested to hear?
You have an attorney signing off on this?
I do.
Okay. Well, tell me.
You're interested to hear about it?
Yeah. Go. Hurry along. Again, this
If you-
is taking a lot longer.
I'm with you. I just want to make sure you're interested. I don't want to share this with everybody because not everybody gets to hear it.
So how many other people have you told about this? The last
You're the
6
first
months.
one I've walked in. You're the first person I've walked into today.
Okay. Today.
But I have an
Okay.
appointment. I have an appointment booked across the street just right after this.
Okay. Okay. So tell me, quick.
Let me ask you a few questions only so I can better serve you. How many cars do you sell in a month?
100.
Chris, how many would you like to be selling a month?
I've been in the business for years. You know the answer to that. I want as many as I can freaking sell. There's no limit on it.
How many people do you think your current staff can sell above that?
Probably another 20, but if we can, if we could, we can staff up to get as many, I'll hire as many people if we get the volume to justify it.
I hear you. So you're asking for 20 more cars. That's 40 grand in gross. How much is 40 grand in gross worth to you if you had to just buy it like it was an item on the shelf?
Oh, maybe 10 grand, 15 grand, depending on what I'm using what kind of method I'm using to prospect.
I got you. Now give me a range just so I can try and work it in. 15 grand to how much?
Oh, I have to think about it. Depends on what promotions we're doing. You can only max out certain promotions so much. It's so you can only do so many. For example, you can't do super sale events every week. So it really depends.
I'm with you.
Maybe,
Now how much did you spend on your last buyback mailer?
Oh, I think it was 20 grand.
Okay. And that was just contacting them with direct mail. What if you contacted them up to 4 other ways also? Would you expect it to be more money?
Yeah. Depends
What if
on what it
it
was. Obviously, there's certain things that just don't work. But yeah.
What if it wasn't? What if it was half the price of what they charged you just for the direct mailer?
You got the same response? Sure, I'd be interested in that.
Better response.
Better response. Okay. Yeah, I'm listening.
Then
Get
it's
cut
gonna
to
be
the
up to
chase. Just explain to me what it is. You got me going back and forth here, but it's been like 5, 6, 7 minutes, and you haven't even got to the chase.
Talking about $40,000, man. That's worth 5 or 6 minutes, isn't it?
Sure, if you can deliver. Like I said, I have people calling me every day saying they can do this, that, and the other, and most of them are full of shit.
I'm with you. In fact, I'll put a guarantee on it if we go with your figure. with the 20 grand, but I can also show you a way to cut that in half. Would you want to save 10 grand today?
Sure. Sure. You
Okay.
can deliver the goods.
I have a system. It's called Card Drops. Have you read or seen it yet?
Card drops, no, that's not familiar. This is ringless voicemail technology I think I've heard about before. You know, I've heard some dealers using that and they can't get crap out of it. They just annoy their
Yep.
customers.
Yep. In fact, 90% of the people that do use that technology tend to fail because they misunderstand what the power of the system is, and they misuse the message. See, that's one thing that we've mastered. We understand exactly how to deliver the message to get the ultimate result. However, what you're thinking of is actually called Slide Dial. It's been around for 9 years. It came out of Canada. They've been using it with political for quite some time. It's only legally allowed to go B2B. You can't go B2C. Now, your customers that have bought cars from you in the past, are they all businesses?
No, not at all. Well, most of them are consumers.
Okay, so then B2B wouldn't help you at all, would it?
Nope, absolutely not.
Okay, then you got one other choice, which is me. I can go B2C, and the reason why is I don't dial anybody. However, I do is I put the message on their cell phones by using a switch. When this switch,
switch? What do you mean a
transfers that
switch?
message,
What's a
it's
switch?
a switch
I mean,
that talks. It's a switch that talks straight from the server, from the terminal to the voicemail. It never actually dials the phone. There is no dial. Therefore, it is all TCP compliant. There's no dial involved. There's no robo dial. It's no spam. It's no nothing. You're sending out the message to your customers. They see that there's a message on their phone. When they go to listen to it, they just assume that their phone missed the call and that you called them personally. In fact, with our scripts, it'll sound like you called them personally the way we have you word your wording.
okay.
Now,
You know,
In addition to that, not only is that highly effective because the open rate is up to 96%, which is, many times better than direct mail ever was. If for any reason we can't append to their voicemail or their cell phone number, we'll even send them a hard mailer also to make sure they get the message. We use a number of other contact methods such as email and Facebook also just to make sure they all get the message once, maybe twice. By doing so, we're able to exponentially increase the number of responses and the gross profit opportunities they'll invest in today with me.
but don't people get pissed off with leaving phone calls like that? We have a reputation to protect here, and the last thing we want to do is be pissing off customers who won't be, might not come in for service appointments or whatever because they think they're being spammed with voicemail.
Great question. And then let me tell you why. First off, by no means would I do anything that would piss off your customers. That's not a good way to keep your seat around here. I have a feeling that you would get rid of me pretty quickly that way. Secondly, I could never build a business on one-time business. I'm here to build lifetime business. I don't want to be that objective. Now, do you call your customers ever? Have you reached out and called any of them?
Not directly unless it's sometimes to remind them of a service appointment or whatever. They say they've
Right.
given us permission to do that, but we typically don't cold call them.
Have you ever personally had to call a customer?
Yeah, when I first got started in the business, but that hadn't been. It's been a long time.
Did they automatically get pissed off if you called them?
It depends what I was calling them about.
In this case, you're not trying to sell them anything. You're actually trying to buy something. You're trying to buy their car back, and you're just giving them informative information. And as far as they know, you personally called and left a message for them. Now, unless just the
Okay.
sound of your voice or something you've done to them in the past is going to make them upset, there's no reason I would get upset if somebody called and left me a message. I have people doing it every day, all the time.
Okay, fair enough. But
Have
how
you done
many?
anything to personally make them on the defense if you called them personally?
Like I said, not in years. No.
Okay. And you did say that if you could actually see a return on investment that could produce up to $40,000 gross, in your mind, it's worth 20 grand. What if it was half that? Now you got some real value, right?
Yeah, that's some real value, assuming you can deliver. Like what kind of response rates we talking? How much
You
is it
actually,
gonna-
Chris, I know you've had some in the past. You had some time on Wall Street, and any time when you're on Wall Street, did you run from a 4-to-1 investment?
No, not at all.
Okay, you gonna run from it today?
It depends on I believe you. A lot of people can come in and say something. It's another thing for them to deliver it. I mean, I'm at 80, 90% of the people tell me I'm going to get X result, and most of the time I get well below X.
Yeah. So if you got well below it and only got 2-to-1 results, let's cut it in half. Would you run from it?
No, but again, 2-to-1 is still,
Okay.
you know, that's still
Are you-
not
are you gonna-
something I'm unbelievable.
Are you going to run from it today? You're going to run from it today, though?
You know, it depends how convincing you are. You know, I don't even know you. We just started speaking, you know. Do you have any references?
Absolutely, I got references. How many of my friends do you want me to give you to talk good about me?
Yeah, I don't want your friends. I want real people you've done business with.
How about you just tell me what's your holdback and let me just establish it right now, right in front of you. Let's get to the point and let's get that off the table so we can do business. I wish I had time to go through this with everybody up and down the road, but I don't. You're lucky enough that I'm sitting here today to help you.
Yeah, but here's the thing. You know, I just met you. I've got to do. You know, you're promising you're going to get, you know, an X return. You know, for all I know, you could be sitting at some call center somewhere and never done any of this in your life and just looking to get the money and run. I don't know you. I mean, you know, you might be, like I said, I like doing due diligence. I like doing my analysis before doing anything. I don't make spur of the moment decisions most of the time.
Great. What's your first question?
Okay, like I said, name 3 dealerships you've done this for and what kind of results you got from them.
What kind of what manufacturer are you?
Honda.
Honda. You're with Honda, right?
Yep.
Okay. And what state are you in?
Massachusetts.
Okay. Up in Boston.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So after I get you these 3 references that are going to show you or give you the results that you're looking for, are you going to then want to do business?
If they confirm your results and the pricing's right, sure.
Okay. Well, I can definitely get that over to you, but do me a favor real quick. I'm going to go. I got an appointment here coming up in about 15 minutes. Let me make sure they don't want it first, and as long as they don't, then I'll come back over and let you know, and I'll get you those references, okay?
All right, perfect.
You remember when I asked you if you were going to run from a 4-to-1 investment?
Yes.
Why are you running?
I'm not running. I'm doing my due diligence. Remember, I used to work on Wall Street. If I bought every stock tip a broker gave to me, I'd be out of business. So I would have been out of business very quickly.
Did you say that your buyback mailer actually works?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm telling you, I'm going to do a buyback mailer plus additional ways to contact them. So how could mine not work?
Because I don't know if your buyback mailer is any good. We've never even, this is the first time we spoke. You know, I used a guy I knew. They had a good buyback mailer. Like I said, you're an unknown quantity.
Well,
I'm just asking to do my due diligence.
All it is verbiage. Look at that. That's the buyback mailer. There's nothing fancy to it. But if you want to see something fancy, here's a copy of mine with a 3D wax seal on the back, everything. It'll co-op. It'll do anything that you want. It's just a message. There's nothing that's going to make a buyback mailer really better or worse other than whether it gets opened. The only difference between mine and his is mine opens 20 times more than his does. If it works at a low open rate,
Again,
I'm
wait a
just trying to do
minute.
your due diligence for you, Chris. That's all.
But no, we're talking 2 different things. You're telling me you start by saying my back is just the same as his, so I'm going to get 20 times better open. You know, you can't be the same verbiage and you still get the same open rate.
Exactly. That's why we deliver it in multiple methods to make sure we increase the open rate, which will give you a better response. You told me you were happy with the response and the overall picture of something that only has a 1% open rate. I'm telling you I can get up to a 96% open rate. How would that not be due diligence and prove that what I've got is way better than what you're already happy with?
You're telling me you can get a 98% open rate. I'll see it when I believe it. Or, you know, like I said, I can call
Chris,
your references and see what kind I got with them.
Chris, do me a favor. Come with me. See that showroom right there with all the people waiting in service?
Mm-hmm.
What are they all looking at?
The TV. They're like glued to the election returns.
Half of them are holding their phone reading Facebook.
Right.
You mean to tell me that those half of people are not going to see my message before somebody goes to their mailbox?
Well, you know that it's possible. Whether they're going to respond is another thing. You know, I get a lot of.
Do you know how big the service department is over at Toyota? Imagine when that GM looks out and sees how many people are looking at their phones in his service department. You think he's
And
going
I'm
to have
sure
any
he's-
question whether or not this is going to work?
Yeah, he's going to ask how many people calling back in are actually going to take you up on the offer, you know?
Well,
Historically
that depends on how well the offer's offered. Let me tell you what I've got that I overcome that with. We've made the mistake and actually allowed dealerships to handle the incoming calls and present them with their offer. Instead, what we've done is we've got a BDC in place that's able to fluctuate in seat size so we can handle calls and answer them promptly. And one way to incentivize the offer, which is an appointment for you to appraise their cars, is to offer them a premium. Now, in the past, we've done that with discounted oil changes. Some people like to do free oil changes. We've even done it with things as much as a $350 value smartwatch, similar to that Apple Watch you're wearing there. Right, you got the pink one, but it looks nice.
I don't do pink.
Well, you're wearing a pink watch. You must have picked up your wife.
You're colorblind, man.
Don't worry about it. We're talking cars. I won't talk about the color underwear you're wearing, all right? Okay, so judging by, right, the premium, we're able to then book a lot better appointment set rate. Bottom line, I want you to do your due diligence. I would never ask you to make a decision that wasn't an educated decision. I never did, and I never would, and I wouldn't expect you to either. I'm not here to pressure you. I'm just here to pimp you. You know what I mean? And I'll pimp you with better deals right now than ever before. Therefore, in any deal, it does take a little bit of trust. Look at me. Chris, do I look like somebody that's not going to do what I say?
You know, I don't know. Like I said, you know, I don't judge a book by its cover. I judge them again based on due diligence.
Chris, when's the last time you bought something you couldn't afford?
No, not that long ago.
Now listen, I've walked into hundreds of stores over the last few years, and some stores got it, some stores don't. Now, I'll be honest, when I walked into this store, you can look around and you understand that you got it, man. If anybody's got it, you got it. So don't hesitate on a good offer. Opportunity is a door knocking, not a door closing. Your door's knocking right now. Open it. You said you would take a 4-to-1 investment. You said you'd take a 2-to-1 investment.
And you said you weren't going to pressure me. And you said you weren't going to pressure me like 3 minutes ago.
I'm not going to listen. I'm not here to pressure you. I didn't told you that. I just want to
yeah,
see
but
you
you're
take
saying right
opportunity when it
now,
comes.
like, what's your resistance to me doing due diligence? Saying right now you're pushing back on it. Why can't I get back to you, speak your references, and get back to you next week?
Well, once again, I'm not going to pressure you. However, it's not me pressuring you. It's a little bit to do with the deal. As long as nobody else on the street finds value in what I'm about to tell them or what I've actually already showed you, as long as they still want to do more due diligence after that, then you'll have no problem. You'll go do your due diligence, and maybe when you get around to thinking about it, we'll do business. However, I'm willing to bet you that somebody within the next 3 doors I open will see a huge immense value in what I'm offering right now. If you like to be first, let's do business. If you want to do it after all your competitors on the street do it, then let's wait. I just want to give you an opportunity to be first on the lineup.
Hey, I appreciate that, but you know, I seriously doubt all my competitors are going to jump on this in the next week.
Okay. All right. Well, if they don't, then you can call me back next week and we'll do business. But if they do, then we'll just wait until they're done with their campaigns and I'll notify you.
Right. Like, just give me those references. I call them, and then like if it checks out, if they give me some hard numbers,
No problem.
we'll do business.
Here's the first one right here at a Honda store in North Carolina. His name's Ken Ledbetter. Let's call him right now.
Hey, you're welcome to call them.
Let's use your cell phone. Dial this number, 912.
Or I'm using my
Blah,
cell
blah,
phone. Why don't you
blah,
call
blah. All right.
them? You asked me to be a real pain in your ass.
No,
so I am.
I'm with you. I would go toe-to-toe with him as long as he's sitting there talking to me. I've already got you off to tell me that I have 3 minutes, so I feel like I was gaining ground. However, if it got to the point where it was just a waste of time, it's kind of like a girlfriend. It's just taking up too much of your fucking brain space.
Right. Yep.
You cut bait, man. You say, I'm out of here.
Yep.
The value.
You wouldn't even
is
in
not
that
worth the
situation.
price.
You wouldn't even bother sending in the references if he was going that direction. Okay.
Well, No, hang on. If he asked me for references and I told him I would send them to him, I absolutely would follow through with everything that I promised, no matter what happens.
Okay.
I'm not going to compromise my moral integrity just because this guy is an untrusting fool.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep. Yep.
You know, so follow through. Follow through
Yep,
with
yep.
everything that you always promise. You know.
Yep. Yep.
But no, good asshole. I didn't know you'd be such a natural, Chris. Good job.
Hey, I've spoken to a lot of companies. I have spoken to a lot of brokers pitching me deals in the day.
Yeah, sure. I'm sure they're bulldogs too, man. I mean, just talk right over you, wouldn't they?
Oh yeah, actually you'd hear a lot of the same. Because I didn't do anything without doing due diligence. Whereas like 80% of people, they hear a good tip, they go out and buy it.
Yeah, you get burned if you step in the wrong hole in that end of the game. I'm
Oh,
sure.
absolutely.
Same with this.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's a $6,000 investment. They really should think about it. But a lot of them will understand the technology and want to be first on the race day because they're competitive, and they'll take they'll take a step with it. So.
Well, and here's
Awesome,
where the free trial may have worked on this guy and said, well, I'll just drop 1,000 and send it to your BDC and let me show you how much I can make your phone ring.
Yep. That would have worked on
That
this
may have
guy.
been one that was taking it on that guy, but I would save those free trials and keep them in my bag until they absolutely had to be used. But tell him
Okay,
that
so don't leave that.
Yeah, I'm saying what I'm saying is don't sell the whole okra when you're doing a free trial, like Sid said earlier today. We're
Right.
selling the recipe down here for the okra or for the gumbo, but if they just want to see how that technology works, well then we know then we can afford to do that, and it's not going to beat us up too bad on 1,000 drops to show them, to prove we can make their phones ring. And then we go, well, you guys can't handle these calls. You need the whole gumbo, so you need the BDC thrown in with that. So let us do our full campaign now. That may be an out with that particular type of guy.
See, it seems to me why do the gumbo when I think the easier sale is free week in respect, because you don't have to worry about the direct mail cost or anything like that. I think most people would be more about to do let me try it for a week, see what happens, than maybe going for the gumbo up front. Does that make sense? Or is there any way you maybe pitch the gumbo first?
Well, I want the full Monty instead of, because if they start going and price shopping you on RVMs,
Right.
you could very easily lose out on that.
Right.
Now you're selling a whole process, a whole campaign here with this model. That's why I like talking about that first, as opposed to let me give you something free and hopefully you'll like it.
Right. Okay.
You really haven't sold anything. You've given something away for free. You've devalued it a little bit. Now it's hard to go back and get $1.25 per drop.
Just critiquing even myself. What was one thing I could have said when he said, "Give me 3 references, let me do my due diligence." And
What have I
we'll move
said
forward.
right now that makes you not trust me?
There you go. What else could you say? If I do that, would you do business today? If I could, would you? Right? So you're just saying if you call 3 references, you're ready to do business today. Well, great. Let's sit down and call him right now. I'm calling Ken first. Ken Ledbetter. He's general manager of so-and-so on,
Right.
So
No, that's a
you
good
get
one.
a commitment, even if there's fuzz between you and the commitment, go straight for the commitment.
Right.
I've taken offers of $1 and raised them to $25,000 on a car and made the deal. But the point is once they sign, I will pay $1 for that car, even though it's $1, even though it's not even a realistic offer. It's still a commitment to get them to sign their name. And back in the day, we'd get a check. Great, write the check.
Right.
You walk in there with $1. So, and I would have got to the free. I definitely think the free deal would have been the job on that. But I felt like I was getting you to move since you got off of how much time I got. Hurry up. I felt like I started getting a little momentum there for a second.
Yeah, some
So
of
what
those
did Josh
objections were actually ones I got. Yeah, show me your stuff. I want to just see it. I don't want to speak right now. I want to speak later when I got that one last week.
Right.
Well, you can also say that this is, new technology that tends to go right over people's heads and they don't understand it. Something I can explain better than actually show I do need 3 minutes with respect. I won't waste your time.
Right. The other one I got last week was from on the direct mail when I saw on the Pokemon mailer. It was like, listen, hey, yeah, we're going to do one this month, but, I've got a couple other options. I want to check on a couple other guys before getting back to this with you, and I'll get back to you next week. And that was he didn't have an objection per se to it or whatever. He just said that, I want to check I have a couple other things I want to check on before I decide to do it or whatever. And that's basically where he left it. How do you handle that? Or you just,
Chris, that's a great idea. I think you should check the other offers. However, this is an exclusive offer, and it's a limited offer. We're not going to do these all over town. We're only making them available to the first come, first serve.
right.
So if you want to take advantage of it, it's something that you got to kind of have a little bit of faith. I know that the guy that just did a $500,000 sale, glad he took that chance. Tell me what you're looking for on the other offers that I haven't shown you, so maybe I can cover it. I bet you I included it anyway.
Right. Well, it turns out he said there were some more he hadn't taken a look at yet, so he didn't know. That was on one of them. And the other one, it turns out, I think the other one, it was the same mail house, because he mentioned something. Well, they've got this thing called, Absolute Client. You guys have that? Oh, yeah, we have that too. I didn't realize it was exclusive, and I think he was literally, they were selling the exact same direct mail
weren't.
product. Oh, they
Nobody's
weren't?
selling.
Yeah.
Nobody's. He just said yes to get you out of his office because nobody's selling an Absolute Client unless one of
No.
our reps.
He mentioned Absolute Client, not me. He actually mentioned Absolute Client to me. I never mentioned it.
Then some
He
other
said
rep from
that
our
yeah,
some other
there was
rep
some
from
other
our
rep.
people has been in there then.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Probably like a day or two before I spoke to him. I don't know what they're pitching. I think this is the first time he'd seen I showed him the Pokemon mailer over the screen share or whatever. So he hadn't. They weren't pitching the Pokemon mailer. They were pitching something else. But he mentioned to me Absolute Client. So when you guys told me that it's exclusive, I assume I'm competing. It's one of our guys.
Right. All right. Does anybody have any questions about what Sid and Chris just went through there? And I mean, we're running long here, but I think it's okay. We'll be fine as long as everybody's got time. Nobody's kind of left. Anybody have any questions about that 20? It turned into a 20-minute pitch there. It was well worth it, Lonnie said. Yes, it was. I think so too. All right. I think they all liked it and got it, and it was helpful. Sid, thank you, Chris. We appreciate your help today. That was
Thanks.
a good.
Yeah, thank you for everybody being a volunteer to get on live. That helps everybody, so that's awesome.
Right. He was almost as good as Tor and what's his name in Atlanta that Sunday afternoon. I forget who was the other guy. I can't
It was
think of his
Tor
name.
Black and
XL.
whatever his name was.
XL
Yeah.
Skills. Yep,
So.
that's who it was. And they tag teamed him pretty good. They were good. They did a good 20-minute hard wall of putting up objections, and he kept batting them out. He kept knocking them down. So, all right, guys. Anybody got anything else real
Thanks,
quick?
guys.
We're going to wrap this thing up.
Yep.
I think they're good. All right, thanks, guys. We shall
Awesome.
see y'all.
Hey, guys.
Y'all have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday morning on the call. Bye, guys.